YouTube or continue with Facebook?
Go to Facebook. Just say Facebook. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Big, Beautiful, and Wealthy. I am on the call with our guest. So please, as y'all sit there, y'all just going to see my lips moving like this a little bit. Okay? I'm going to mute us. I am waiting on Kim to jump into the studio. Once she jumps in the studio, we're going to get started. But until then, you guys that are watching, I see you. I see you. I thank you. Why don't y'all sit there and just write into the chat? We got Tiffany in the building. Yes, I'm excited. So our ITM family is definitely in the building watching tonight. I am helping Kim on the other line get on into the studio. So just give me like a few seconds, but it's going to be an interview. When I say the interview of a lifetime tonight, I'm gonna overpromise.
This is gonna be bananas because, oh my God.
I know you did not. I know you guys are there. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm getting Kim on right now. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right, Kim. All right, Kim. We got Kim in the building.
No.
Hi, Kim.
Hello, Coach Reba.
All right. Come to the screen. Come to the screen. Let's get your face all up in there. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning into the Big, Beautiful, and Wealthy. On today's show, we do have our girl, Kim Tyre, in the building, the CEO of Family Benches. I just want to say thank you so much, Kim, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. So we're going to start this interview off right. Kim, give us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Kimberly Tyre. My people call me Kim. I'm a mother of 5 children, 5 male children to be exact, from anywhere age. The oldest one is 29 to the youngest one being 19 years of age. I currently have a master's in project management from MCMY. I also have a CERPA, a Certified Peer Recovery Advocate certificate, where I can work with substance abuse and substance abuse disorder individuals. And I'm also will be having at the end, as of tomorrow, I will have a facilitation thing to specialize in supporting people with mental health around peer art support. And I'm glad to be here.
Okay, okay. Hey, we got Tiffany in the building. We got George Bailey in the building. We got a lot of great people watching right now. So, Kim, I thank you so much for saying yes and taking this interview. So, I'm going to go ahead with the questions. Before I start, I'm going to ask if you could close your window to the side of you because it's going to pick up everything from outside. Okay.
Right. So how do I?
Just
Okay.
close the window, your house window. Yes.
I know. I just wanted to make perfect.
There you go. All right. All right, Kim, come closer to the camera so we can get all of Kim in less room.
Okay.
There you go. All right. So now let's go, Kim. The first question is right now, what's the biggest move you're making behind the scenes that people don't even know anything about yet?
The biggest move that I'm making behind the scenes right now is acquiring commercial space for my project.
And you are making these moves right now.
Yes, I'm making these moves as we speak. I have made connections with an organization called Interfaith Church on the Upper West Side. I've also made personal phone calls, outreach phone calls myself, and I've been canvassing the neighborhood as well as East Harlem neighborhood and other neighborhoods on the Lower West Village to acquire space. Yes.
And we're talking about space that's going to be used regularly, correct?
Space that's going to be regularly, yes, regularly. Commercial space for my nonprofit headquarters.
I appreciate that. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to move right along and we're going to talk about that in a few when we do the strategy session. Cool?
Cool.
Cool. All right. If somebody looked at your social media today, what's one thing they still wouldn't understand about the real work you do?
Oh. Okay, if they looked at the social media website right now, they wouldn't understand what I do because what I do is very complex. It has three different elements to it or three different parts to it. One is the respite care, one is the direct support services, and one is the workforce development. There's three separate programs, so to speak, under my organization.
Okay, let's go. All right. And all of that is not encompassed on your social media, correct? That's what you're
No.
saying.
No, it's all encompassed on the website. On the website that I have at https the backslashes familybenches.com, and also I have that on the website. I've also bought into I got my stationery, my letterhead. So my letterhead and envelopes are designed as well.
Oh, nice. All with the same logo?
All with the same logo. I've also got lapel pins coming out, being made, for promotional materials and things of that nature. Is being made as we speak tonight.
I love that. Thank you very much. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Next question. What's one belief you had to, excuse me, what's one belief you had about success 5 years ago that you've completely outgrown, that you no longer have that belief?
Oh, I hadn't 5 years ago. I had the belief that the paperwork to get all the paperwork done, and I'm here happy to say that all the paperwork has been done. I'm officially have the 501c3. It has been looked over and verified by the New York the nonprofit help desk attorney, Mr. Schumann. He has looked over all the paperwork. The paperwork is good to go. And I also am happy to say that I now have the Attorney General permission with the Charities Bureau registration process as of March of 2025.
I need help with the Charities Bureau thing. That and Sam's, I'm not done yet. Like, I need help with those two things. So maybe you can help me with that, Kim. Maybe this is a vice versa situation, right? Yes. Okay, I love it. So the belief that you had that you outgrown exactly was what?
The belief that I had that I outgrown, that the belief that the belief that I outgrown, that this was impossible. This was impossible. This was impossible, and I proved that it's possible because I've done all the paperwork. I did all the paperwork myself, and even when it's as far as today, I went into the bank and I identified that a bank that I could build a rapport with for my nonprofit organization. So it's more than possible, and I have 6 or 7 families that I'm in communication with that are utilizing my services as we speak, and I don't even have nowhere, no building, nothing to do it. And I'm have caseworkers reaching out because on my website I have an intake form, and on people, caseworkers is calling me in regards to supporting their families. So I know now that it's possible. And 5 years ago, I kind of, was on the fence. Is this possible? And it's on. And I see now that it's possible, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's happening.
Thank you so much, Kim. Yes, it is possible, and it is happening. And I think that's big, right? One day you wake up and you're like, I have an idea, and then the next day it's a thing. It's a real thing. Like, it's, oh shit, I'm in it. This is really happening. Yes, so there's folks watching, and if you're watching, y'all can definitely give us some big ups. Y'all can talk to her in the chat, and if you have a question for Kim, you can help me interview her tonight as well. So now, Kim, I'm gonna get into it. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a deep dive. Is that good?
Oh, that's good. Right. I love deep dive. Right. Yeah, go for it.
All right. Right now, what's the biggest move you're making? Oh, excuse me, that was old. When you were at your lowest, emotionally, financially, or spiritually, what did you see in yourself that made you still believe you could build something valuable?
Oh, yes. That started in January of 2024, January 19th to be exact. It was on January 19, 2024, happened to fall on a Friday, and it was just a little flurries coming down. And Friday I went to work. I used to work at the New York City. I'm a former employee of the New York City Housing Authority as a community associate in the emergency preparedness unit. And let me tell you what that includes. That includes talking to the residents about emergency preparation and being prepared if it's emergency, a storm, hazardous conditions, heat, floods, all things of that nature, which I did 100% well. I don't care. I don't care what they say. I know I'm a community person.
I believe it.
And anyway, They called me in the room. They called me in the office, in the conference room. They called the situation room, and they said, have a seat. And I kind of knew something was crazy going on because the deputy director, she doesn't come in on Friday. She works remotely on Monday and Friday. So I knew what time it was already before it was happening. So they called me in the room, the deputy director and the meeting boss. He said, "Oh, we're gonna terminate you, blah blah blah, whatever, whatever." And I said, and then he said, "You have 2 minutes to go and clean off your desk." And I said, "All right, okay. Well, before this happens, I'm gonna let you know why you terminated me. I'm gonna let you know." And he said, "Oh, blah blah blah. We heard that you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that and blah blah." And I said, "So I don't know how you heard that because first of all, you never come into the office, so I don't understand how you're taking so and so's word over here." And then she stood up and she was yelling and carrying. And I said, "So this is what she did, and you didn't even recognize this is what she was doing." And anyway, they terminated me, and they said that I have 2 minutes to go clean up my desk. And I went and I said, all I had was a bunch of condiments because everybody knew I needed salt, pepper, ketchup. I said, if I'm gonna be at the workplace all day, I need what's gonna make me happy. And everybody came to me for that. And I said, y'all can have whatever y'all want in my desk because I don't need to take anything but my documents. And then they told the coworker, call NYPD. And my coworker, Troy, he said, he's not doing that. He said, I'm not doing that because Kim don't deserve that. She doesn't. She's one, I'm not doing that. And two, she doesn't deserve that because she sat here in her uncomfortableness while y'all tortured her and she didn't say nothing, okay, to y'all, but came to work every day. So I left. And as soon as I left, I do what Kim does. I went shopping. I said, the hell with these people. And I went shopping. And I said to myself, audience, I was not staying at Nitro for no 25 years anyway. I was only there as a pit stop to get those checks that they was giving me to put into my
nonprofit. Talk your talk, Kim.
To put in my nonprofit. I was not staying there forever. I was not. And now the supervisor, you know what goes around comes around, because what you do unto others get done unto you. 2 months later, after I get terminated, my supervisor gets terminated, and she got to pay $1,000 of rent. Where she live at in New Jersey, I still pay my little $400. So she is the one that's losing out, not me. And that was that. That was that with that.
That was the moment, Kim. That was the moment. Like, I got to do this for me.
And that was the best moment, actually.
Talk, Kim.
Because I might have stayed there at 25 years or whatever the case may be.
Right.
I'm glad they issued me out the door. Perfect. This is the best thing you could have done for me.
Okay, Kim, we got another question. Ready? Mm-hmm. And anybody in the audience that's watching, if you have a question for Kim and you would like to ask her about family benches, definitely just put it in the chat. Also, put some kind of, hey, Kim, in the chat. Let her know you're here. Let her know you're watching. I see 6 people on here. Even if she don't know who you are, it still be great, right? She can say hi back. So as I'm hyping y'all up, help me hype her up. Got it? All right. Next question is, in a world where so many services ignore single fathers and caregivers and caregiver burnout, why did you decide this was the mission worth committing to?
As I was an former employee at the New York City Housing Authority, we were sitting in like rows because we initially had our own offices and then they switched us in rows. And that was another issue about the roles. But we were in the rows, and I was the center, and I was happened to be in front of the snack dish. And on my left and on my right, there were single fathers. And the one single father, his name was Troy, and the other single father's name was Damien. Troy went to my alma mater. We both went to the alma mater together. We went to Mercy University, that used to be called Mercy College. And he raised his children by himself, all of his children by himself. And then we clicked really well because he had identified the fact that He did every single thing that a single mom did. Took them to the doctor's appointment,
Mm.
brought them to the college, set them in the back of the room while he had to try to study. He was got a basketball scholarship, bring them to the basketball thing while he had to play basketball. He just attracted me because he was like my work husband, and he really kept me grounded in a sense, because there was times that I wanted to play the DMX record up in there, up in here. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. And he was like, Kim, that's what they want you to do, but that's
Yeah.
not what you're going to do. Okay. And so he kept me really grounded. And then Damien was a single father, and he was battling the baby mama drama. And when I tell you it was baby mama drama, he would buy the stuff, and then he would turn around and say where the stuff went, and I would hear him on the phone next to me trying to be respectful, but on the same token telling him he not having that from the baby mama drama. And I will always give him words of wisdom like, Damien, while you sitting here, you can also be doing some project management stuff on the side. You could be doing
Right.
some other stuff on the side. And he would always be busting out laughing, because I would be like, no, Damien, I'm dead serious. I'm not joking at all. And so when I left, everybody, everybody still hits me up. They still holler at me all the time. So that's what made me want to focus in on single fathers. Then when I got to my ITM action mentors action plan, and I met James called Red, I was like, oh, when he told me he took care of all of his kids by himself, and
Right.
he talked to me, and it was like, wow. And then I also did a lot of extensive amount of research around. There's 250,000 single parent head of households here in
Right.
New York City, and I just noticed to be true. Women get the services and men don't. And I'm exploring that more, because to find out what is the actual breakdown borough by borough, demographics and male versus female on what they get. But
Can I
as I
ask you? Can I ask you a question?
yes.
I think that, and this is just this is thought for me, right? I think that men, I think men don't believe that they have an option or I don't think men believe that they can do it. I think they automatically think that the courts or them going to like get some assistance is going to pick the child's mother automatically over them. And it's unfortunate because
Mm.
more men should go to court. More men should put themselves on child support. More men should be, involved in the system, especially if the reason why you're not around the child is because of the child's mom. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
instead of, and so when you get a father that is actually doing everything for their children and the fight that he has to have, I understand it might be I understand that it might be a little daunting for him because this is not his natural lane. At the same time, for a mother who has lost her children to the system, and I'm speaking from experience, my children were removed for 6 months. A lot of people don't know that. That's another part of the story, right? And I had to fight, and when I got them back, I had to fight. So
Yes, I can
I
relate.
don't think the fight is different. It's just I don't know if men are in a space where they're like, that's what I want to do, right? Versus that's what I need to do. Like I know I need to go get my
Mm.
baby. I know I need to go get my child. Like you don't know, no, my child needs to be with me. If I don't have no other way, that's the child. I need my child with me. And I applaud you for making a way. Just like Sons of the Sun, I applaud them for making a way for fathers that is like, I want to fight, and they know they need support, and they're asking for support. Because where else you going to get it at? There's not a lot of programs, like you said, like your program, Family Benches, that help fathers, specifically fathers. You know what I mean? I digressed. I digressed.
Wow, I also had my children. The length of time resonates with you. My children were removed for 6 months also.
Hmm. our life is shared in this experience. Like, there's a lot of things that we go through that people don't know unless you say it. And I'm a firm believer in saying it. I don't think it hurts anyone today. I think that there's been a lot of work on ourselves in my home for us to have gotten far, knowing that did exist, knowing that it doesn't need to be a thing now. It needs to, right
No.
now, what do we need to do? We need to build, we need to create, we need to live, we need to elevate, we need to let go of some shit, right? So with that being said, Kim, ready for the next question?
Yes.
Yes. What do you wish people knew about building something from a place of grief, especially when you have no money but a heavy calling?
Mm.
Oh,
Wow.
these questions wasn't easy. You want to run it back one more time?
Mm-hmm.
I got you. What do you wish people knew about building something in a place of grief, right? Especially when you have no money but a heavy calling. And y'all can answer this too if you're watching.
Building something, grief meaning like in a sense of tragedy.
Well, it could be in the meaning of however you choose, because grief means many things, right? So it's not necessarily bereavement, like missing a person that passed. Grief is the stopping of a process that you're so used to as well, right? That's the real definition of grief. Like you're missing something that you used to do a lot. So the question is, what do you think, right? What do you wish people knew about building something from a place like that? Because your story comes from a place like that. You built it, right? You built up from where you were. And the question is, what do you wish people knew about that?
That that it's that it's hard. The struggle is real. It's not a easy. It's not for the weak.
Say that.
It's not for the weak. You know, because there's times I'm not. Yeah, building something, building anything is hard. But you first have, and it's a journey, and it's a phase. You got to do it in phases, and steps, and milestones. It doesn't happen overnight because people say, "Oh, you're taking so long." And I'm saying, "Yeah, but I want to do it the right way." It's easier to slap something up there without no foundation
Say
because my
that.
it's easy to set something up without no foundation. I need to set my stuff up with foundation because I don't want it's like a house. I wanted to have a solid foundation so it could live on but after me. Okay? Because this is not about me. This is by me for the people that's gonna live on. Okay, that's gonna live on. Because I really want to build this up and have it here, East Harlem, and then everywhere because there's single parent households I have identified throughout the world that have this challenge, that has this struggle, that have this feelings of overwhelmed and just need relief. And I do believe that they don't necessarily need the child welfare administration to come in and give relief because their relief is not the relief that you need. Okay. And I've had conversations with them and I decided to, I had a conversation with him because I was introduced to the commissioner of ACS, and I decided, maybe I talk to him, and maybe I don't do it his way because his way is still going to be not the great way. And I want the single families to really get the support they need, and meet them where they're at because everybody doesn't need the same supports.
I love that. And you're right. Everybody don't need the same support. Can I ask you a question
Mm-hmm.
around capacity? What do you do, or what will happen if, let's say, you said you got 6 clients now, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What happens when you get 50? What is your hope for the future for Family Benches as far as expanding your brand to like getting interns and help and stuff like that? What are your thoughts on hiring staff?
Okay, I have 7 interns coming on Tuesday, July 1st. I got approved to be a work site for DYCD, the Department of Youth and Development and Community Development. I got seven interns coming. She said, "How many do you need?" She was real happy when she looked at my stuff. She was like, "How many do you need?" And I said, "Well, how many am I eligible for? Is what I asked her. And she said, "Oh, we got a lot of student interns to place, ma'am. If you need a lot, you need a lot." So I chose 7. And I was very clear to her and disclosed that I was a new worksite provider, so I want to start, with this amount so that I can understand this process and get the process. And Monday I got to go there to get the all the paperwork for the interns. They have reached out to me. I have reached out to them. I'm doing the onboarding, but the issue so family benches. I want to expand family benches because I want to hire direct support workers and I initially wanted it to be mobile meaning that I will go to the people, meet people where they're at by going to them as opposed to them coming to me. So that's still in progress. Mobile or brick and mortar or both, but it's looking like it may be a combination of both of them. And I definitely want to go big with this. Because New Jersey folks are reaching out to me and they said, "Miss, you know about DIFUS?" And I said, "I don't know about DIFUS at the moment, but I'm going to learn. Trust me, best to believe. I'm going to learn about the DIFUS. I'm going to learn about whatever it's called in Jersey, whatever it's called in Pennsylvania. I'm getting there. I'm going to get there."
I love that.
I'm going to get there. I'm going to learn about the DIFUS. I'm going to learn about all of them.
So DIFUS, is DIFUS, that's like the ACS of like Jersey and stuff, right?
Yeah, yes. Because a lady called me from DIFUS.
Services.
Yeah, she called me from DIFUS and she said, "I'm a social worker. I'm a case manager, whatever she name was, and in DIFUS." And I said, "Miss, I'm not in DIFUS yet." I was clear and honest with her. She said, "Oh, let me put on the intake form so we can tell you about DIFUS and how DIFUS works."
Okay. I think it's the same thing as ACS.
Yeah, I heard about that because my aunt, my cousin is a foster parent for DIFUS in New Jersey.
Because I know it's outside of New York. New York is the only one called ACS. Remember when it was BCW?
Yeah, Bureau of Child Welfare. Yep.
All right. So the next question. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What's a hard lesson that humbled you, but also forced you to level up as a founder? What's a hard lesson that humbled you, but also forced you to level up as a founder?
A hard lesson that humbled me? I don't know everything. And maybe I know nothing. Of course, it's a lot. Nonprofit, on the nonprofit space is a lot. On the logistics of all the nonprofit stuff, it's a lot. Okay. And I don't know everything, but I'm willing to recognize I don't know everything and reach out to my community colleagues like Rema the Great and Rose and people. I got people in that knows about these things, that been in spaces and places and know people and know things and resources, and I'm gonna utilize that. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm trying to just be a vessel for service to the single parent population. Okay, and if the single parent, and I want the single parents to tell me what they need, because I'm not there to tell you what you need. I'm there to help you and meet you where you are, and help you to meet you where you are and support you in whatever your decision. Because I'm not trying to be ACS to tell you what you need to do, how you need to do it. Right. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to meet you where you are. If you want to go and file a police report, I'm going to just listen to you, because at the end of the day, you know what's best for you and your children. I don't know what's best for you and your children. I'm going to support whatever you think is best. But mind you, I'm not going to allow I'm going to redirect if there's any neglect or abuse. I'm not going to allow you to do that. But I'm going to try to redirect you to have your mindset shift, on what may or may not be good choices. Let's look at all these. Let's weigh all our options.
I like that, because people be thinking people will move in emotion.
Mm-hmm.
not in like their sane mind, right? Like something like if you're calm and you're regular, you're gonna move a certain way. But when you are on it and you're like, yo, I'm angry, I'm this, you kind of move a certain way, especially if you don't have guidance or somebody to talk to. Can I say that too? Like an advisor like yourself, you don't have somebody to talk to, then all of a sudden it's like whatever I'm thinking I should do, I'm going to do. Because
Yes.
all I could do is reference to how I was raised or reference to a conversation I had with some stranger or somebody, right? Like that's it.
And I had a 2-hour conversation with a young lady that I met at John Jay, and now she calls me. Wow, she calls me every day, for to tell me about her situation and how. And she said, "Oh my God, Miss Kimberly, I really, really, truly appreciate you because I was going to go in a different direction, and I respect the fact you don't tell me what direction I need to go in, but after hearing what you're saying and how you go about it." I don't think I need to go in that direction I wanted to go in. And I was like, oh, hey, I'm getting it, but without telling you what I think you should do, I am getting you to see a different perspective.
Right. Right. I love it. I love it. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Your work is rooted in healing, but what does wealth mean to you now beyond dollars? Your work is rooted in healing, but what does wealth mean to you now beyond just dollars?
Wealth, wealth to me is the impact of someone in the impact that I make on someone. That brings me the wealth. Okay, because
Yeah, talk it. Yeah, talk it.
nothing I do is driven by monetary. Because I know that at the end of the day, if you do good work, the money will come sooner rather than later, or later rather than sooner.
Say
It will
that.
come. And I'm not, and I know this is crazy, I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for the impact of the people that I'm serving, because the same service that I'm giving to people, I wanted it for myself.
Yes.
I wanted it for myself, and it was not there. And I literally was tortured. I was humiliated by the system, people, places, things, systems, objects, everything. And I said, I'm determined to do this and help people from the bottom of my heart, not for money. And I know that money will come when it comes, but that's not going to stop me from doing it, because I don't have a pot to piss in a window to throw it out, and I'm still going to do this. I don't have funding. I have nothing. I'm going to do this because this is what I want to do. This is what my assignment is. This is what my higher power is telling me, this is what you need to be doing. This is what you need to be doing. Find a way to do it and do it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it, because if you can do it they say if you can do it for free, for volunteer,
Then you can do it.
then you can do it. And this is what I've been doing. I've been taking every single penny of financial resources that I have, and I've been putting it into this. Putting it into this because I know, one, that this is needed, and two, that it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge.
I love it. I love it. All right. We get into the good part now. Now it's time for the strategy session. You ready?
Yes, because my
Yeah.
predecessors are doing it right now, and I was in a space with them, Rema the Great and audience, and they said, "Oh my God, I've seen you 2 times this week," and I said, "You want to see me all the time because I'm doing real work, honey. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm doing real work. You don't see you. You don't know. You see me." She says she sees me, and I was in the space with her, and she didn't want me to be there, and I was there, and I know she hurried up and said what she had to say and moseyed on. And then she didn't even want to be on the panel after I was president. Okay, so I know I had an impact. She didn't even want to be on a panel. She was supposed to be on a panel. Names not. I'm not mentioning no names. She was supposed to be on a panel, and she did not even want to be on a panel.
But you see your power. You see your
Oh
power.
yeah,
I
I always
think,
knew it, but you just brung it out. Certain people just brung it out.
I think that we all have the power of talking and speaking into each other's lives, right? And giving them perspective, because that's what it is, perspective and viewpoint. And I tell a lot of people sometimes when you can listen to a person speak and they get upset quickly or they feel misunderstood or all of these things, and this little thing keep flying around. If you hear somebody like that, sometimes social skills isn't always present. Sometimes people need to be around other people to hear how they're thinking. Like, listen, you shouldn't think like that. Hey, where did that come from? Hey, what are you doing with that? Like, what made you think that way? This little bug been just bugging me. What made you think that way? It wants to be a show. It's the main character at this point. This little fly is the main character. It's been a main character for like the last 2 weeks. I've been doing all this. It's just one fly. It's annoying. It's like the worst thing ever. Anyway, please excuse me. I'm beating myself up. And it's bad because all the light is here. So it wants to fly around the light. And I realized that today, out of all the days. Sorry, Kim. Just need to let you know that you the shit and the fly is flying around because you're the shit, right? Like that. Anyway. To the next question, right? You said you're looking for a physical space. Who is the space for, and what problem does it solve on day one?
Problem
for
the space is for family benches, and the nonprofit is. I was able to keep the two names, so it's like you get married and you want to keep your husband's name, and you got to ask all the permission and blah blah blah. So I was able to keep the two names that I originally wanted to have for this business: Lady Survivor hyphen Family Benches, and the space is for them, and the space is for the organization, so it can have a headquarters. And the day one out the gate, we're doing support groups. We're doing support groups. We're doing circles. We're doing support groups. We're doing different types of group support, art groups, circle groups, and therapy, and support groups, not therapy, support groups,
right,
because people need to talk. People need a safe space to talk and share. And I believe in, after doing the restorative justice circle that I did with Nicole, that taught me how that I want to do the circles and the support groups like she does hers. Okay, because the way she does hers, I like the style that she used, and I like the method.
Which Nicole? Which Nicole?
Nicole
From
Nicole from BCW Consulting. Nicole, and I
Is
like.
It really called BCW though?
Yeah, Black BWC or Black and White Consulting something. Her and Suzanne. Her and Suzanne got a company together, and I like how their style, how they facilitate, how they co-facilitate one another, how they did their circles. Everybody brings the talking piece thing, but I like her talking pieces because yes. So I want to emulate her style of circles, and also with the support group, and I'm gonna throw in the art because I'm now gonna be a facilitator of art therapy tomorrow. So I'm gonna mix, intertwine.
You was there earlier today. How was that? Like, how was it? How did it feel?
It felt really good because that's a non-judgment art class, and it was only for people who had specifically mental health challenges, and I felt right in. And normally, honestly, I don't like art because my art teacher was very mean and very cruel, and she turned me off against art, and I found a way. So because that class was free, and I found a way. It was for mental health. I found a way to use it as a self-care, facilitation, and then everything. I mixed it all together. Self-help for me, be able to help someone else with using art as a means to provide support. So I kind of combined all of these things together.
I like that. I like that. And you're going to be incorporating this in Family Benches when you get the space.
Yes.
What
Absolutely.
will be in this space that isn't in no other space that is out? What is going to be something little different in your space that no other space have?
In my space, it's going to be meeting people where they at. In my space, is going to be actually very transparent. My space is going to do what it says it's going to do for the people, but by the people. The people is gonna. I'm gonna be very transparent in my space, and my space is gonna actually do what you say. Do what I'm saying I'm gonna do, because I don't want it to never be. I'm not doing what is needed for the people in my space.
Correct.
And why I say that is because there was a space. I'm only emulating the child welfare organizing project that was on 80 East, 110th Street, in apartment 1E, in the Lehman Village houses in East Harlem. And they had all the financial support that they needed, but they was not doing inside. They was just since 1995, and it hurts me to my soul that they was not doing what they should have been doing.
You know, there's a lot of spaces that's not doing what they need to be doing, that they could be doing. Do you know why they're not doing it?
It could be a lot of reasons why they're not doing it. It could be a lot of self-interest, self-dealing. It runs the gamut of things. But for me, you know, this is a vulnerable population of individuals that I'm serving, and if I'm not gonna serve them the way they need to be served, then there's no point in me being in this game. There's no point in me being in these nonprofit, like my friend would call it, these nonprofit streets. If I'm gonna be unraggedy, I don't need to be in the nonprofit streets. I don't need to, because there's a whole bunch of nonprofits in these streets. And if I'm gonna be raggedy, because she told us straight up, she has her organization around getting nonprofits unraggedy. And if I'm gonna be raggedy, there's no point in me being here. I don't want to be raggedy. I want to be able to sleep at night knowing that I
did the work.
That I did the work, and I helped somebody. That I did the work. I don't want to be in front of the newspaper. I don't want to be in front of the newspaper. I don't want to be in handcuffs going to jail because I took a credit card and I said I didn't know that was a company credit card. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't have the need to do that. I never had the need to do that, even on a personal level. That's why I pick and choose and associate with some and not others, because I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that because I just don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. And it's easy to get in trouble and it's hard to get out of trouble. And I just want to do the work. I just want to do the work. And the work can be done. You can make money. Your nonprofit could be thriving and pumping and vibing and all that. And servicing the people too. And doing the work.
So let's talk a little bit about money. Let's a little bit. If I gave you $5,000 right now, what would be the first priority for you? Where would it go?
The first priority will be putting that $5,000 to a commercial space to get the rent. And here in New York City, yeah, give them a down payment on a space where I could get started.
I like that. And again, all right. So my question about your space, right? So you said you have people offering space, but did you happen to see any spaces that you absolutely love? Thank you, George.
Yes. I saw one on.
Look, George said, "Yeah, Kim, that's dope."
I saw one on 14th Street 14th Street in a side block. In the side block, there's a bicycle store in the corner there, and it's in the middle. It's in the middle of the block. And then I'm also going for it. Now, on the for-profit side, here they got East Harlem, Diana Ayala with Union Settlement got this storefront bringing businesses back to Harlem, right? So my application is due and I'm about to submit that because they only taking 12 people. And I said, you know what? And she said, no nonprofit, but I got an LLC and my brain is literally on fire. So I said, okay, I got the LLC, maybe a cafe / thrift store. Because she said cafes and thrift stores is eligible. So I said, okay, cafe, thrift store. And then in my cafe, single parents are gonna have some tea and a cheesecake. We're gonna have some tea and we're gonna have some
Come on
cheesecake.
now.
And we're gonna have family talk. We're gonna have single people
Come
talk.
on now.
Single people talk.
Come on now.
And I asked her, because I was gonna get in on this, and I was tweaking this, and I was saying, let me see if this gonna make sense. And she said, "Ooh, cafe, thrift store, family talk. I like that." So I said, "Okay." I asked her, can that fall within the criteria? And she said, "Of course it can. Cafe, thrift store can fall in the criteria." So I said, "Okay." And this is gonna be single parents because the parents is gonna come in. They're gonna get a slice of a cake, a coffee or tea beverage, and then we're gonna talk. And then also thrift store, I can give them some clothes that they need for the interview, and they're gonna get some clothes for the interview. And because I'm determined to make these clothes that don't fit me, that are brand new with tags on it, somebody gonna wear these things, because somebody gonna get these gems because I paid for these gems, and I ain't. I paid for these gems. So you're gonna get tea, you're gonna get coffee, you can get your coffee and tea, and then you could get your clothes, and then we can also chat. We can chat. So you're getting my homemade cheesecake, you're getting coffee and tea, and we could chat, and then you'll feel good. You'll feel good because you won't be overwhelmed. You'll get relief by getting coffee and tea. That'll be self-care. So that's what I'm putting on my application.
I messed that application all the way up. I put it in the first day that it came out. I think 2 days before it came out, I put it in. Like, what are y'all doing? And I want to send her. I want to when I dream of a institution, not a regular institution, but like a multi-place institution. So like I want a franchise kind of. I don't know if it's called franchise when it's not a business, but I want schools. I want schools everywhere, and I want them to be professional and personal development. And that's something I'm actually working on in the background. Like, we need more professional. But this is the thing. This is why I say this. We need more culturally competent professional development training. I want to say that. I think that we have a lot of trainers out there. We have a lot of like different educational institutions out there, but we don't have something that's culturally competent for our people.
No, we don't.
That isn't about
that's your competitive advantage.
That isn't about being exclusive to a type of person, right? Okay. So we know that there are programs like, we love ITM, and a program around it is really about reentry. Like the whole we got in there. I had a little something here there, but it's really focused on credible messengers, reentry, preventative work. Yes. Where this particular thing is for everyone. Okay. It's not it's not, because you're this, or because you're that. It's
so yours is inclusive.
Kim, when you go ahead and you have your employees, right? They need onboarding, right? what does that look like, right? It looks like you giving them a place to go that you know for a fact they're going to learn what they need to learn. A lot of programs in our community have trainings, right? Like they go through trainings or they do personal in-house training. And they do these trainings and they check a box. They don't see if the person actually learned the thing. Trainings for onboarding when you're dealing with people and you do not have a sociology degree or a psychology degree, a training should be at minimum 3 months. You should be reevaluated every 2 weeks. Hey, this is a week and a half to 2 week training of situational training.
Okay.
How do you handle your cool and your emotional intelligence? That's first. Then there's the second part. Put it into action, right? Now we're watching you for the next month. Hey, listen, this is your training evaluation. Did you not remember what we just taught you 2 weeks ago? Try to do it this way. It's a buddy kind of feeling, right? But having an institute that can actually house something like that. Think about what that looks like, right? So now you have your employees and you're like, I want to train them up. I'll send somebody over there to train for you, either in your space or you come to my location,
Okay.
right? And let's just put it like this, right? What makes it even more sexy? It's still a networking experience. This training will encompass and have multiple different organizations sending their people to me.
Yes.
Because their people need to be culturally competently trained. Competently trained. I don't know if that's how you say it, but me just saying that right now just gave me
it feels good.
an idea.
Yes,
right?
because culturally competent training is key.
Training. I'm going to pitch that to something that's coming up right now and see what happens. That light. So with that being said, I got more questions.
They do that at city agencies.
Because I let them give me 5,000. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. So my next question is, what partnerships or institutions are you already aligned with your mission, but they haven't heard from you yet?
I'm aligned with Alliance for Quality Education. Mm-hmm. I'm aligned with All Together in Dignity, ATD. I'm aligned with ITM and the Credible Messengers in the New School. I'm going to be in line with Union Settlement shortly because I got a colleague of mine is in the products and service business, in the cake business, and she's going to introduce me to the director of the FEC, because now the ACS is doing family enrichment centers.
Yes, everywhere.
And so she's going to align me to the director of that, and I already made my way over there to the East Harlem partnership thing. I went to one of their visioning sessions. I'm in line with Miss Tamika Mapp, and I'm in line with a lot of things. And now I'm in line with Holly the Hawk.
The question isn't who you align with that you're connected to. The question is, what organizations are you aligned with that you are not yet connected to?
Not yet. I'm not yet connected to NYCHA. I'm not connected to the DOE. I'm partially connected. I would say NYCHA and DOE. I'm connected with the DYCD now, Children's Aid Society. I'm not connected with NYCHA, and I'm not connected with DOE.
All right, look at this. Look, you got a shout out here. Jacqueline Leduc said, Kim made amazing things with ATD, Fourth World Altogether, and Dignity. And she gave us a lot of awareness, right, about care. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Kim. Look at you.
And Jackie, Jacqueline. They're from, I've been connected with ATD, Altogether in Dignity, since 2016. and I am an activist with them, and I have done. I have been aligned with all of their initiatives and projects, and they're a French organization from France.
All right, I love that. So now I have a question for you before we start closing out. Is there anything that you may need help with in your business that you would like some strategy around on this call?
I need some help with defining what my programs are. And once I define that, and I need help with that. I need help with defining what the programs are, and just clarifying them, mainly because I think I know what they are, but I just need a little bit of clarification. And I have the support. Yeah, that's what I need support in, because everything, most other things, I'm able to navigate.
So you ready?
Yes.
You got your pen and paper?
Pen and paper, where are you? Yep.
And while she find out, if there's anyone else on the call that is interested in getting an interview and would like to interview with the big, beautiful, wealthy talk show live, please, 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 please hit us up at my email, my personal email, please and thank you, right? You need help to find a place. Yes, Babette, she needs help finding a place. She's looking for a location right now. Here is what you need to do. Let me see about giving you the link exactly. Okay. Y'all can go to Coach Rema. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all can go to Coach Rema. Coach Rema from the PJs, and you can go fill out the form. You can hit the tab that says Big and Beautiful and Wealthy, and the link for the form is right there at the top of the tab. So definitely go to Coach Rema from the PJs. Now, there's a reason why it's Coach Rema from the PJs, because eventually, let's be honest, eventually, I will be telling my story from someplace else, and I want everybody to know where I come from. I come from PJs. All right. So here's the first thing. You want to define your programs, right? So I'm gonna ask you to dream big, and then I'm gonna ask you to be realistic. And it's gonna sound crazy because it's like, how you gonna ask me to do both of these things, right? But I am. I'm gonna ask you to dream big, and then I'm gonna ask you to be realistic. So the dream big is, first, who specifically do you want to serve? Who do you want? Don't say I want to serve people. I love people. I want to help people. I don't want to hear that. It's not about I want to help people. I want to serve people. It's about who specifically. Is it fathers? Is it children? Is it families? And families can mean what? Be very clear. Who do you want to service? Okay. Now that we have that, who do you want to service, right? What kind of, that's me? That's you, Dad. What kind of problem do you think they would have if they're coming to you? What is the main 3 problems they would have if they came to you? Are they coming to you because they have an ACS case? Are they coming to you because they have childcare issues? Are they coming to you because children was removed? What are they coming to you? What makes them be referred to you? Got it? Once we figure out what they being referred to you for, you got that? Then you can figure out how you're going to help them. So let's say, right, the first question was, who specifically you want to help? Let's say you want to help fathers. What is their problem that they're coming to you for? Fathers that is in the court system fighting for their children. Yes? And then you, right? Now you want to help, right, from an angle. So you would say, I have this support group for fathers who specifically are in court for their children.
Okay.
See how it works? So all you got to do is ask yourself those 2 questions. Who specifically am I servicing, and why are they coming to family benches? Once you figure that out, everything else is easy.
Okay.
everything else is easy. Now we can do this again. Now watch this. Oh, there was more. Family bitches deserve great opportunities. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now here's more. Now I want you to answer it. Who are you servicing, Kim?
Who am I servicing? I'm servicing single parent head of households.
Single parent head of household. So that could be mom or dad. They're just single parent. And single parent in the definition today is just them and the children, correct?
Yes.
How many children should they have?
They may have from anywhere from 1 to X amount of children.
Where do they live?
They live within the 5 boroughs.
What's better than the 5 boroughs? Where do they live, Kim?
Citywide.
They live city, but where do they live?
They live in Harlem. Say East Harlem.
You want something that's in the proximity of you.
Okay.
You don't want to have to go so far. So let me explain what that looks like, right? Let's say, and right now you don't have employees, right? You don't have employees. So let's say you have a family in Staten Island. You have a family in Long Island. You have a family in the South Bronx, and they all need to meet you today. And you don't have a car. You don't have a car. You're taking both one way, both back. Then you're coming and then you're going to Queens, right? And then you got to go from Queens to the Bronx.
Okay, I see.
You're literally traveling about maybe 9 hours. That's just traveling because you're in East Harlem. So now I'm going from East Harlem to Staten Island. That's already an hour and a half to go. I'm going to sit with the family and I'm going to give them all my undivided attention, right? For about at least another hour to 2 hours. Then I'm leaving them to come back, not to Harlem, but to the other side of Queens. Because I'm going to Long Island. Right? Now I have another hour and a half ride out, depending on what part of Long Island they are. Yes?
Yes.
Sit with them for another hour. And possibly 2, because you love your people. And then you leave from there. And you got to get back to the city. So you know there's nothing from Long Island to the Bronx at all.
Yeah. At all. I see.
So you're going to have to get off at 34th Street, Penn Station, catch the 2 or 3, maybe transfer to the 4 to 5, the 6 maybe, but depending on where you're going in the South Bronx.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Then you're going to sit with another family for 2 hours. How many hours did I just say? The traveling, you already now, watch this. Go back home. Until you grow big enough that you are in many places, be in the place that you're in. Okay. The reason, and I'll go here around funding and stuff like that, right? So this guy one time, and a lot of people don't know this, I listen to a lot of people when they speak. I remember when I first started calling myself Rema the Great, I was out at this event, right? And it was like it was a community police, the community police event. And it was introducing like the new police officer, head person, whatever. I didn't know. I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention. I just was invited and I went. And I was like, oh, snap. It's only like 7 of us. And I'm talking about, I'm really great. I had no confidence. Could you believe that? Right? I was like, I'm really great. My voice was cracking and everything, right? So I'm sitting there and about 4 of us, we came out the space together. Because, you know, sometimes that happens, right? You go to a space and then you come out the space and you're with the person, right? So we came out the space together and the guy said, I write grants. Now, this was before I even wrote the first grant. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. And he was like, I got donations for like kids to get like basketball sneakers and basketballs and stuff like that. And Adidas sponsored a game for us. And I'm listening and everybody around him is yelling out, can you help us? Can you help us? Because that's what people do. They see money and they can you help us, dude? And and he was like, I can't help you. I said, oh. That's bold. You just out and you can't, what? He said, I can't help you. because I only know my area. And all I did was focus on my court, and I was able to get everything I needed. I said, oh shit. So what I decided to do was, right now, here we are, me taking the same now. Now, this is how it can work. Because I do something a little different. I had started reaching out to everybody in Manhattan, right? Everybody in Manhattan that's dealing with NYCHA, like NYCHA presidents. So in the leadership of NYCHA presidents is like 78 people. I said to my partner, I only want like 8 to 9 different resident presidents, and I'll be good. I just want to get into just 9 spaces that I can say I was able to change the trajectory of life in that space, right? Was able to talk to the president of that location, hit the light, was able to talk to the president in that location and say something like, hey, listen, you know, and strategize with them. Hey, are you interested in, you know, figuring out how to connect with your people, right? Look, Babette said, good job, Kim. Start close to your place located in East Harlem. See? So, you know, I reached out to these folks and was like, hey, are you able to, you know, what is it that you're looking to do? Because I could come and do an assessment. I can help you do a block party. I can help bring the people together. I can help find out who your council members are. Those things is easy. I can do that with everybody. I can do that from sitting at home. You see what I'm saying? The work you're looking to do, it'd be better to do it close, or at least not, if not East Harlem, West Harlem, or South Bronx, right? Service people in the Upper West Side. This way it's not even close to where you are, because you kind of still want to have some kind of like mystery in where you live, right? Similar to ACS, everybody else. I'm gonna come by, say hey, and I'm gonna leave. But these families, they need what you have. However, you can't spread yourself so thin. You're everywhere. And we got to talk about funding, because honestly, you're about to do this stuff without no money. And like you said, if you love it, you do it for no money. But the reality of it is every month we get a bill. And can I add this, right? Some of us have public assistance and we do this work. Some of us have Social Security and we do this work. And some of us be like, I don't really want to lose it. But here's the reality about losing Social Security to everybody out there, right? You get in New York, you get about almost $2,000 in Social Security, like $1,000, $2,000. You pay your rent, whatever. If you get a regular job doing the shit you really love, especially this community work, you can possibly make up to $150,000 a year without even a degree. So imagine when you have a degree. You understand me? If you're really doing this work and you out there, you could be like the CEO, the ED, the executive director, all these different things of different type of people, different type of organizations. That's what you can land. And those jobs pay a lot of money. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you scared to lose 2,000, but on the flip side, you might make 5,000 a month, 7,000 a month. So until you're making that, I say don't do too much out, going too far, especially when it's just you. And even with your interns and everybody that's coming in, you can't really send them to people's houses and talk and do the thing, because they're not trained and educated social workers. See, that's the thing. They may be researchers, right? And they probably have a critical thinking session, but they're not sociologists. They didn't get a degree. And a lot of times in this field, you got a lot of people that do that. I love you. Have a good day at work. In this field, you see my baby, right? In this field, you get a lot of folks that they get into these spaces and they don't have that proper training. Hence me talking about the training again, right? So you wanna think about that. You want to think about that. So I'm going to go here, right? As we wrap this up, these are my last few questions. So are we good? We good?
We're good, yes.
Did you get clarity on? Oh, sorry, because we didn't get clarity on the program that you should create. So let's slow down. I asked you who your people are. You told me that they're single family homes, correct?
Correct.
How many kids they have? You said they can have anywhere from 1 kid and up. May I ask you another question?
Yes.
Do they have to be children?
Do they have to be children?
Do it have to be children? What if it's single family homes and it's with like seniors and they're taking care of a senior?
I have to explore that.
Huh?
I have to explore that because I'm keeping it to single parent head of households, and I have been asked the question: Does it have to be? Do they have to be impacted by the ACS, the Administration for Children's and Child
Yep,
Welfare?
that's another question. Do
And I
you
said
want
no.
perfect question, perfect answer? Because baby, it has
Single
to be
parent is a
inclusive.
single parent. Yes, single parent. I'm going to be inclusive. Single parents. Single parents could be in all the pronoun folks. All the pronoun. I'm
So
exploring.
the
I'm
reason
getting
why
training on that.
I asked you about seniors because you have a lot of single parent homes with parents
Oh,
that are 50, 60, 70, and their children are 40, almost 50, and they are special needs.
ah, okay.
Yes,
I
we
have to
have a
explore
lot in
that.
Harlem. We have a lot in Harlem. A lot of people don't notice it, but we have a lot. Okay, so
Okay,
that's
that's
something to
that's
explore.
one of the market segments that I have to explore.
So now I'm gonna ask you another question. Same question I asked earlier. It is, what is something they're coming to you for help for? What are these people? What are they in need of?
They in need of they're right now they're in a big need of respite care to give them a break. And respite care can last from anywhere between 3 days and 21 days, and
So now,
that's
so now,
billable by Medicaid insurance.
now I'm gonna ask you this question again. You don't have a location for respite care. What are they coming to you for now?
Now they coming to me. Now they coming to me with child welfare and court.
Okay. So they're only coming to you for child welfare and court. Yes.
Yes, and the
They
respite care. So I have to move on getting this location because the need is for the respite care. The need is
slow down.
greatest.
Slow
Yeah.
down. Slow down. Respite care can't happen till you have location. However, services can happen while right now, which is what you're trying to figure out. What is the program you're going to offer? You can't offer respite care. You can offer referral services, which you've probably been doing already, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's room for you to do referral service to a respite care space. Got it?
But they don't want the but they don't want the respite care from they don't want the respite care. I was told they don't want the respite care service provider on the ACS. They want an independent person with the respite care. So I'm
So
collaborating with Rise Magazine, because Rise Magazine in the Bronx, they've been doing the respite care, but they're not supposed to because their 501c3 doesn't say that they can do that. So here I come along. So Janet is the executive director there, and she's saying, Kim, she's gonna buy a house to do the respite care, but we're working on that because the respite care is
so
needed at the moment.
so watch what I'm about to
Essentially.
say. You asked a question
Uh-huh.
about programming.
Okay.
I didn't say they had to like it. What I said was you can be a referral.
Okay.
Now, as a referral, you need
Okay.
to investigate these other spaces.
Okay.
Also, as looking at your competition or looking at your collaboration, right? Because maybe
Mm-hmm.
they're not competition. What if you went to one of the respite care spots and you was like, this ain't bad. I like it. And you can ask any of these organizations for a tour. You take a
Okay.
tour on the spot. Now you say to your clients, I offer respite care referrals until
Ah.
until I am able to do respite care myself. I'm only a hub that offers referrals. So we're clear on it. And I'm
Okay.
also clear that they may not want to go, but you are the middleman that makes them want to go. Hey,
Okay.
listen, I know that you need this help. This is where you got to go. Let me tell
Okay.
you, if you call and you do it like this, because you now know people, right? So you go, right? You go like this. You say, if you call Laura at this respite care spot and tell her Family Benches sent you, she
Okay.
gonna you all right. You got it?
Okay.
You
All
got
right.
it? Because we need things that's relative. We need people that is in these spaces and we need them to, I want to put it like this. We need somebody that's going to give that referral and make me feel comfortable. So
Okay.
there's a direct person I could talk to right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk to her.
All right.
Okay. I want to, so it's Laura. I can ask for Laura. Yeah, ask for
Mm-hmm.
Laura.
Mm-hmm.
But that's your relationship and that's on your word. People don't want something they don't know what they want.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it like that. Like nobody know about respite care
Because
unless you really was in this
because
building.
Jeanette in the Bronx, she's the executive director of Rise magazine. That's a magazine for families that's impacted by the system and write their story and get their story out there. And she's been providing respite care, but she's not supposed to. So she doesn't. She says she doesn't want to lose her 501c3. So here I came along to collaborate with her because I want to because her families and my families are the same families. And so she was like, yes, Kim, you gonna provide the respite care, perfect, because I'm gonna refer them to you because I'm not supposed to be doing respite care. And I said, I don't have a location for respite care. She said, we're gonna get one because we're gonna work on getting one because we'll help you to get one because that's what is needed right now.
That's the part. That's the part. So I'm respite care is one thing. So we already know that's a referral. We know that the people are coming to you. They have courts and they also have what was the other thing? They're coming from court and they have open ACS cases. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Yes. Is that the only two things that these people have?
No, they have lack of employment.
So employment, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So now here's a program you can offer. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. The first program you can offer would be a job readiness program that will teach them how to write resumes and you can do mock interviews. Okay. And you can do this on Zoom. You can do mock interviews and do resume writing because a lot of people always need that. What you can also do is provide an open closet situation. You can partner with like 100-minute suits or something like that, or organization like Bottomless Closet, right?
I have a collaboration right now with Dress for Success.
Just for Success, Bottomless Closet, all of them, right? You can collaborate and partner with them and send your referred people over to them. Hey, listen, I got this mom. She's getting ready to get a job. She needs some assistance. Can you give her a shirt? She's on public assistance. She has an open case. She's in court. Can you give her an outfit and send them right over? You can become a referral service. Again, it's not you and what you have. It's what you can offer.
Oh,
You got it? So you're thinking program. Like, I need to be able to do this thing Monday through Friday, every day, 2 hours a day, this and the third. Because when we think program, we think regular scheduled programming, right? But it's not about that. You have nothing right now, and you still have everything. You understand? You have everything. So in the moment that you think you have nothing, you have everything. All it is a phone call. And I have this theory. So when I worked, when I was the director for Live from Rikers for this program that had us on Rikers Island, I had 2 workers under me. I told them all to look up 325 different programs in Harlem and within Manhattan. And I think it was 10-mile radius. So it's like Manhattan, a lot on West Side and some on the South Bronx, but they looked up all this stuff. And then I said, now I need you to call them. And I want you to schedule a Zoom call with them. So they're making phone calls every day, right? And come to find out, some people didn't answer. And you know what I said? Those people that didn't answer do not deserve to have my connection. You are going to figure out those resources and those references, and you're going to call those people, and you're going to ask for a walkthrough of the establishment. Hey, listen, I'm a nonprofit that's looking to refer some folks over to you. Is it possible we can meet and I can do a walkthrough? Because what they're going to say, no. And if they say no, guess what? They don't get what? They don't get to be on your list. You see what I'm saying? Now, of course, they're going to get paid because the person got medicated and they're going over there. But they shouldn't be able to get on that list if you know what I'm saying? If you can't even go in there to look at it or whatever.
Okay.
You understand me? Like, show me what my people are coming to.
I follow this.
Got it? Now, the next thing that you might want to do is a support group, which you can do right now on Facebook, right now on Zoom. You can have the Family Benches Family Support Group Facebook page or Facebook group. And as you're getting your clients, you bring them into the group, as long as it's not a DV situation. Because, you know, DV, you don't want to show people who they are and stuff like that. But you can ask them, hey, listen, would you guys be interested in joining a Facebook group for support? And then you throw professionals like myself and a couple of other folks in there and let them promote things in the space. So, hey, would you be interested in coming to a book signing, like my book, right? Would you be interested in coming to, and I know you're coming, Kim, right? You're coming, Kim? Yes, I know. And you got the book, so you know. And you know, are you able to come to a conversation about youth and violence? Are you able to come to a conversation or an event around a sip and paint because you need to calm down? Do you art and paint or whatever, right? Like you're asking people to be in that group that they can do these different things while you weekly check in with everybody. Hey guys, what is one of your biggest wins this week as a parent? What did you do as a parent this week? How do you feel this week as a parent? Because sometimes you don't dig for that, right? Like my job is to do the opposite. I don't want to talk to you about being a parent. I don't care. My organization is called the Great Parents Club. I do not want to talk to you about being a parent. You know what I want to talk to you about? Being a human being. I want to talk to you about being human. You know why I want to talk to you about being human? Because in doing that and finding your space, your kids will always follow. And I just want to, like, right now I want to highlight and shout out my kids real quick. So earlier today, my 15-year-old and my 19-year-old was in the kitchen talking. I get closer to the kitchen. So my dad is here. As you can see him walking back and forth a little bit. I get close to the kitchen and my son is cussing up a storm. Just cussing. And all I'm hearing is the cussing. So I'm about to come in there and regulate, right? And then I paused and I stopped. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you. I paused and I stopped and I listened to what they were talking about. He was having, now I'm a cusser, so I get it, right? He's having regular conversation with his sister around school. He's talking about the school he going to next. Then he's asking her about her going to college and how she feel about it. My daughter was so inspired with that conversation today. They both was talking, and I don't know what happened. And went up to the college that she applied for. She applied for LaGuardia, right? And she walked in there like, hey, what's going on with my application? They processed her paperwork today.
Oh no.
How would that have happened if Coach Rema did not get up and say, I need to do better for me. I need to pay attention to me. So I'm opposite. What I'm saying to you is create the space, bring the families together, give in one place so this way everybody can have. And it will, and this is what it will do for grants and everything else, right? Some of the questions come up and it's like, how long or how often, right, have you been working this? How long or how often have you been working in this demographic? How many people have been impacted, right? And you're like, damn, I haven't sat with but let's say six families, right? All I had is 6 families in this last 7 months. And yes, they doing good and they doing great. That's 6 families though. What would it look like for you to impact 50 families? Just by hosting stuff like this, hosting a Zoom here, there, getting them all in the group, like, hey, this is for your family. This is, and then throwing up family different events, stuff they go pick up food, stuff they could go pick up backpacks, stuff they could go pick up. Like, this is another block party that Diana y'all is throwing and all this other whatever, right? Like council member, this and that. Right? Bring everybody to a space. You even have a website. You can do a group there, right? Like, but what I'm saying to you is don't think small. You got to think big, bitch. You got to think big. Don't think small. Just because you don't have nothing doesn't mean you don't have nothing. You have a way. So we just spoke on 3 different ways for you to support your demographic. The first would be learning how to refer them out. And you're going to refer them to places that you actually tapped in with. If they don't know your name, you can't send them to them. If they don't know family benches, you can't send them to them. If they didn't let family benches knock on the door and come to a seminar or a conversation there, you can't send them to them. Partner with them. Partner with your quote unquote competition, because it's not competition. The work you're doing and the people that you will attract is different from the people that they will attract. The culturally competent thing that we talked about earlier, that's what you have. That's what we have. We from the project. People like that. Educated. People like that. You understand what I'm saying? We know how to talk the language of the people. Other people don't. So you going to put a little something together, a little presentation. Hey, listen, this is what family benches do. If any of you are interested, you make sure that the person is that you're collaborating with, you can actually offer something that they don't offer, right? Hey, listen, I do referrals to A, B, C, D, E. If you're interested in any of that, let me know. I do job placement referrals if the place doesn't do job placement referrals. Or you can say, hey, listen, are you any of you interested in resume writing? I'm going to bring a resume writing course here to the place, right? Because you can teach that, right? You can hire somebody to teach that. You understand me? Under your company, like, think big. And as far as getting your own space, the more you put into other people's spaces, the more you're going to understand how to get a space. Sometimes we ask God for stuff, but we didn't really get the homework together.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't do the homework. And what I mean by that is, Kim, you can look at a space and be like, I love it. I want it. I can pay for it right now. However, you don't know how to maintain it. You don't know how to manage it. You don't know language for it. You haven't been in a space where you had to deal with rent, had to deal with credit, had to deal with loans, had to deal with people financing and shit. You have not been in a space where you got all of this skill of really running a space. So God hasn't presented the opportunity yet. Now, some of us, right, may get the opportunity to do something that we never was able to do before, but we probably have the capacity to get it done. I want you to think about that too. You haven't hired anybody yet. So you don't have the capacity to have a space, because the space is going to be ran by you, maintained by you, and every piece of it, it's you. So you won't get 5 minutes. You won't get 5 minutes. 9 to 5, it's you. And then 5 to 9 the next day, it's you, because it's your space. Something goes out, toilet don't work, insurance ain't up to date, right? Fire, God forbid, happens, right? All of these things happen. Water damage, right? People come in there breaking stuff. You got to have insurance. But if you're working alongside of somebody else, and I'm not telling you to work for nobody else, because I'm not working for nobody else. Heard me? We clear, right? We clear? Got it. Just wanted to make sure you saw me look at you, Kim. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you're going to send your services. You're going to make a list of things that you know you can do. And it's a small list, like 5 things, 3, 4, 5 things that they could pick from. And you're going to say, I would love to work on the grounds. I would love to look at your grounds. I would love to partner with you in the future. This is what I'm working towards. And you go ahead and host a little resume event. You host a little job fair event. You host something very simple in that space, because now you're partners. So when you have your space, you get to refer them, and they get to refer people. Because one thing I know about people, right? You know about people, we change our minds like we change drawers and like we change phone numbers, okay? And the reason why we change is because we're human enough, okay? So what happens is, if I'm staying at a place and I don't like it, I would love to know if there's another option. And if I'm also a space that is really invested in the mission that I have, which is taking care of these people, I wouldn't want them to stay with me if they weren't happy. Got it? So you're always going to be a partner to somebody that you think you're in competition with. Just collaborate with them. Are we clear on the programs that you can offer? Or did I get your brain thinking about some stuff that you can give?
Yes.
All right. I like how that sounds, Kim. Kim happy. So now we're going to close out. So if the 19-year-old you was sitting here right now, what would you tell her?
19-year-old sitting next to me, what would I tell her? Yes, Andre. Not right now. Yes, Andre. It's okay. Call me back in a few minutes. If the 19-year-old is sitting right here next to me, I guess I would tell her keep moving, keep going for it, keep going for it. Because when I was 19, um, I don't know, I don't know right now because I was thinking about all the things that you just said. So I don't know. And then I got an interruption by my autistic child. So I don't know.
Is he okay?
He's fine. He always has issues. He always calls talking about he doesn't like where he's at. But then he'll call me back in 5 minutes after that and say something different. So I take some of it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
Because if it's a real emergency, they'll call me.
Okay. So let's get back to it.
Okay.
We get up out of here. So the 19-year-old self sitting right next to you, what would you tell her? What would be your advice for her?
I would tell her take everyone's feedback into consideration. If she was in my shoes and she was starting eventually, I would take everyone's feedback into consideration. Look at all of the feedback and still utilize all the feedback and still keep it pushing. Still keep it true to what I want. Keep it use the feedback, but also do also implement the feedback, but also continue to push through and get it done and do it and do it
Absolutely.
using the feedback and using what I how I want it also and using the feedback and incorporate all the feedback, but still keep going on.
So to be listen to what people are saying, but don't listen to where it's taking you out of your lane.
Yes. That's what it is. Yes.
So I got you. So we got two more questions and it's over. What's your message to anyone who's big in purpose, big in dreams, and tired of shrinking to survive?
I didn't hear the first part.
And tired of drinking. Shoot. It says, what's your message to anyone who's big in purpose, big in dreams, and tired of shrinking just to survive?
I would say dreaming is we should bring back dreaming, and not only just dreaming, we should bring back dreaming and then implement our dreams. Because the other day I was in a space, you know, in a space where and I'm not into this political arena, but for some apparent reason I was in there partying with the candidates, and they just and they kept on dwelling on the concept of bring back dreaming, because we never thought we was gonna get this Muslim Zoran for the thing. Everybody say, "Oh, we're gonna get blah blah blah," and I was like, "Okay, I want to see something different. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I don't know,
I like Mangani. I want to see because he's today's people.
and I was guided by the people, the political people that's all into that. And I said, give them a shot. What worse can we happen? We didn't had all, we didn't all have all hell break loose already. So
Yes.
bring back the dreaming. And I don't know if I answered the question, but I said I'm bring back the dreaming, because he was like, okay, let's dream that this is going to be a better city for all people. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want to hear, because I need to get this business, I need to get this space, I need to, let's. And he was all for that, all of that stuff, in a working family party. I got front row seats to that. I don't be knowing what they be talking about half the time, but I got front row seats just because I'm out there, fighting for education, and my kids all graduated, but I'm still want public education.
I love it.
And I was in Washington D.C. yesterday.
Tim, you be everywhere, which is why I'm saying what I'm saying to you.
J for J have this campaign, Rema, the great, called Equity or Else in Chicago, and they got me out there moving. And I was with Summer Lee yesterday in the White House with Summer Lee. She's a congresswoman. I don't know what congresswoman doing what, but I was in the space with her, mixing and mingling.
So my question,
yeah.
my words to you is this: you're
So
well
this is my
connected.
program.
Look, you're well connected. You like running around everywhere. How realistic is it for you to have multiple families if you still have this networking drive, right? Like, when do you focus in just on that?
I go to these places and spaces because it's twofold. I'm there as an activist, but I'm also there because I get to talk to network and talk to people. And while I'm there, I also talk about family benches. I don't go there to specifically talk about it specifically per se because I'm there for on Alliance Quality Education's time. But while we chatting, when they go open forum and then we do our introduction, I say I'm the solo founder of nonprofit, blah blah blah, shortly thing, and I have my materials to pass out while I'm there, and I noticed that has been effective.
Yes, it's effective. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying, what is your cap? Now that you have grown your business, what is your cap in families for right now with your size? How many families will you take on?
I can only, like you said initially, I can't spread myself so thin by going all over the place. So I can narrow it down to East Harlem, narrow it down to East Harlem, narrow it down to East Harlem.
But how many families? East Harlem has 1 million families. I'll tell you what, Kim, that's a question for you to think about. We talk about later.
Okay.
Yeah. I bet. I just I don't think that you can't. I just want you to think about it. I need you to think about the things that you're not thinking about. You are putting yourself out there a lot. You're going to get a flood of people. Are you ready, like capacity wise, ready? And that may not be an answer you have right now, but we can talk about that on another day. If you would like a coaching session in full, let's do that. This way I can show you how you can, because capacity building looks like delegation, and it looks like bringing in beyond the interns other organizations to help you. There's a lot of people on this call right now that absolutely love Kim, and they logged on at the beginning and they're still here an hour and 43 minutes later listening to your interview. This is your circle of folks. This is your circle of support. This is your circle of hope for your families. And this also multiplies the programs you're able to offer. Think about it, right? We have George Bailey on the call. George Bailey does a chess program, right? That helps with critical thinking for youth and things of that nature. Your families come with youth. Am I right? So you can say, hey, I got this program that does this. I deal with parents, right? And I deal with economic empowerment. You can say, I have this woman that does this. So you're a mom, you can go to this program. See how that works? Now it builds your capacity because you're about to get a flood. I'm going to thank you, God, for the flood that's getting ready to come to Kimberly of all the families that she will be impacting. Thank you, God, for it. I also would like to ask God to send you the people and the support, and also the vision of what capacity look like on a larger scale, because you're about to blow up. You've blown up, but you're about to like really blow up. It's just time. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's time for it, Kim. It's time for you to just receive all that. It's time. You made it this far for a reason. You did all of this for a reason. It's time. That's just how I see it. So my last question to you is, you ready? You ready, Kim? You ready? Don't be over there crying. You ain't crying this whole time. Don't be crying. Don't be crying, Kim. Y'all know Kim will cry in 5 minutes if I sit and talk up too long. That's why I didn't try to talk too much to Kim. She been tearing. Rema. So my question to you is, Complete this sentence. I became wealthy when I finally what? I became wealthy when I finally blank.
I finally became wealthy when I executed.
Woo! Come on. Yes. Yes, Kim. Yes, Kim. That's it. That's it right there. Woo. Listen, to everybody watching, please follow Family Benches on social media. Definitely hit up Kim Tyre. I just want to say thank you so much, Kim, for being on the call today. I
Thank
appreciate all
you.
that you're doing. I'm excited for your future. I'm excited for everything that's getting ready to happen in your life and everything that is happening. I'm happy that you are traveling and networking and rubbing arms and elbows with some really powerful people because of that, the work that you do will be even more powerful. Do you understand me? Because you'll be able to lift a phone and make phone calls and say, "No, I got you." That's the key right there. When you can lift a phone call and be like, "Oh, you need somebody at the top of the bureau of whatever." Got you. Hold on, let me call them. Yo, what up? Listen, I ain't talked to you in a long time, but I'm in front of a family right now. Absolutely, you know I'm on the call right now, and I want to know what you can do for them. They're in need of this. They're in need of that. Who should I call? Oh, you want me to call Diane? All right, let me call Diane. Click. Hey, Diane, what's going on? Yes, so Billy just told me to call you. I have a family in front. Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. He texting you right now. Okay, good. As he should. Okay. Thank you. You'll have that power now. All these connections is for that. Okay, so these families are lucky to have you, Kim. I need you to know that. And before we wrap, is there anything last that you would like to say before we get off the call?
No, I'm just grateful.
Oh, we're grateful to have you, Kim. To everyone else, the show will be live again in 3 weeks. We will be taking a small 3 week break. So this way I can take all this footage from this last 2 weeks and put them on TV because they will be on TV Thursday night in Brooklyn and Thursday night in Manhattan. So make sure y'all stay close to our Instagram page, Big Beautiful and Wealthy, because I'm gonna post everything there. And if you haven't already and you stay with us this long, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be interviewing a lot of great people. Maybe you next. Who knows? But Kim, I appreciate you. Everybody else, have a wonderful night. This has been the Big, Beautiful, and Wealthy. And we were sitting with Family Benches. It's your girl, Rema, Coach Rema. And I'm out. Deuces.
Good night.